All right, so we're going to go over the syllabus for this year. One thing you're going to want to do this year is keep in good communication with me as well as my parents. Please keep in communication with me. If you have any concerns, email me. My email is right here, jguyford@cnusd.k12.ca.us. And our school phone, 736-8241. I also use Remind Texting. Remind Texting is a feature that is free for everyone to use. And when you join the class, you will receive my updates and information that I'm sending out to students. If you see here, each period has their own code, so make sure that you join the correct period because I do teach different levels of math. Parents, you can also join using these same codes and just put that you're a parent of so-and-so. So if I get a text message from you, I know who you are. I will also send these codes out to you all through your email. So make sure you check your email as well. Canvas and Google Classroom. These are two online programs that we will be using in this class. My class will be about 90% digital this year. We will have some that will be on paper and pencil, but most of the class will be fully digital. And to go fully digital, we'll be utilizing both of these programs, Canvas and Google Classroom. You don't need to worry about creating an account because the school district has already created you one. So before I leave on my leave, I will set you all up with your Canvas and Google Classroom. I will walk you through how to utilize those. And when I return sometime in October, we'll get started using both of these. One of the things I look for in all my students is that you are able to show responsibility and that you come to school prepared. I do give a grade for responsibility and preparation. So things I'm looking for. First thing, you come to school with your planner, paper, writing utensils, calculator, and all assignments that are due. If the assignment is a digital assignment, it must be submitted before the class that you are in starts. So if I don't see you till 6th period, then it needs to be in before 6th period. It doesn't mean it has to be done the night before. So if you have to finish it up on a computer and you need the school's computer, you do have that ability to do that. Next thing is when you enter my classroom, make sure you fill out your planner. I will have posted on the whiteboard your classwork, any practice problems we have, if we're having a quiz that day, or any important dates that you need to know. All of that will be written on the whiteboard. You need to make sure that you write that down. Parents, make sure you're looking for this information in your student's planner. They should never have something in their planner that says nothing or none. There's always something that I will have written down. You can also find this information on your Google Classroom account once we start using that. Once you are done with your planner, you will get out your digital device, sign into your account, all before the bell rings. This will show me that you are prepared for class that day. Let's talk about the digital device. We will be using iPads in this classroom. However, if you want to bring your own device and you are able to access the internet, either through your network system or through the school's Wi-Fi, then you are more than welcome to use your own device. Next thing, my biggest complaint I get all year, our kids are stuck. I don't know how to do the math. I don't know what to do. I was absent. I was on a field trip. If this happens to you, you feel like you're drowning, you're not understanding the material, it's your responsibility to come ask me. And a lot of times that's hard for 7th graders because you just came out of elementary school. Your elementary teachers tend to be a little bit more prompting with you because you're all they see all day. Well, I see a lot of students all day, so I can't go and track all of them down who I know need help to ask them to come see me. So it is your responsibility when you are stuck to come see me. I am always here every day until 2:45 at least, sometimes more, as long as I'm physically on campus. I will also have lunch hours and morning hours, but I will make those known to you when I return back from my leave. So class materials, we actually don't have a very big class material list this year, and that's because we are going fully digital. You will need a calculator. One question I get asked every year, can we use our cell phone? That is actually against district policy. And so at this time, I have to abide by that rule. Okay, so you do need to bring a calculator. It does not need to be graphing calculator or even a scientific calculator. I am talking your basic 99-cent store calculator. If it can add, subtract, multiply, and divide, it's good enough for my class. We will also access some of the online calculators when the math gets a little bit more rigorous. And I'll teach you how to use those calculators later. So save your money. Don't go and buy the expensive one. It's fine. You will, of course, need pencils and erasers. We do not use pen in my class. Pens are purchased for other classes, totally fine. Not used for math. Reason being, we make a lot of mistakes in math. We have to be able to erase. I know I have students all the time, well, what about erasable pen? It still does not erase fully. So pencils only in my class, please. And other than that, the only thing else you need are anything that's due that day, like assignments, okay? So not a very big class list of materials. Let's talk about grades. My class is split into two categories, just to keep it easy. Classwork and assessments. Now, many of you have probably noticed you don't see your favorite word there, homework. I don't assign homework. My homework is classwork that we don't finish in class. And I'm going to tell you right now, about 95% of it will be done on a computer. So we will have different due dates just to ensure that you have enough time to get to a computer to complete those assignments. Okay? But they will all go down as a classwork grade. So classwork can be anything from finishing what we're doing in class to a discussion that we talked about in class that I'll post online and we'll discuss it at home when we have a little bit more time. Because I only get to see you guys for 45 minutes, a lot of this stuff I do have to kind of send out to you through Google Classroom, have you comment on it at home, and then we can finish the discussion or finish the assignment in class the next day. Okay? Then you have assessments. Assessments are quizzes. We will have several little quizzes throughout a unit or a lesson, and then we'll have one big test. I'll go over assessments here in just a minute. It's on the back of your syllabus. You are allowed to do redos. We'll talk about that as well. When you do a redo, you get the most current grade. So if you do a redo, and let's say you got a D on it, 60%, and you fix it and you score a 90%, you get the 90%. But it also means that if you took that same 60% grade, you redid it, and you scored lower, you keep the lower grade. So whatever your second attempt at something is, that's the grade I record. You shouldn't be going worse on your redos. It should always go higher. But there have been times, especially when redoing quizzes, that students will score lower than their first quiz. Well, that tells me that you're not mastering the standard. So you will receive the most current grade. Late work. I do give you a lot of time, or sufficient amount of time, I should say, to get your assignments in because they are digital. However, I have cutoff dates. If you get to the cutoff date and your assignment is still not turned in, you can still turn it in, but I will take a 10% deduction from it. However, you can still get an A because 100%, let's say you scored 100%, 10% off is 90%. So you can still get an A- on the assignment, but it needs to be turned in. Then there will eventually be a time where it's too far to even turn in as late work, and you'll keep the 0. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So as I mentioned, we don't have homework, okay? In my class, we'll have practice or exit tickets. But because we only have 45 minutes, I can't rush a lesson just to make sure we get all our practice problems in. That's not the most important thing to me. My most important thing is that we sit, we talk about the assignment, we really understand the instruction, we collaborate as a group. Whatever it is we're doing that day, I want to make sure we have as much time for you to ask questions and get the help you need. Those who are ready to start the practice in class can jump on it and get going. And those who might need a little bit more time at home or just want to take their time and not feel rushed, then you have that online at home time, as long as it's in by the due date. Exit tickets are real quick little questions, usually about 3 or 4 questions. They're all online, okay, so it's all digital. And I will send those out to you before class starts. They'll already be in your Google Classroom account. And I usually send those out the day of or the night before. So you can work on them if you know how to do them ahead of time, but I wouldn't recommend doing them ahead of time just to do them and then fail them. So make sure you listen to the lesson and you understand the material before you jump onto the practice problems, because those are a grade. So homework is not given in this class. The only time work goes home is when a student needs more time. All right, let's go straight down and then we'll come back up here to assessments. Video tutorials. We will have lots of videos in my class. You'll have videos of me giving instruction. You'll have videos of your peers giving instruction. You'll have videos of discussions, collaborations with each other, lots of videos. But the ones that you're probably more interested in are the videos that will help you with your math, okay? Now I see here it says that this will help you on your homework. That should say your practice problems. Okay, so my video tutorials are me teaching the lesson after I've given the instructions. So none of my online lessons will be posted prior to me teaching it in class. I don't want everybody learning the lesson then coming in and being bored in class. So I will go over the lesson in class, and then sometime that week, the lesson will be uploaded to our Canvas account. All video tutorials will go to Canvas, and that'll just keep where we don't have so much stuff being stored on our Google Drive. So I will put all videos that I teach, all videos that you guys might be giving for instruction, and any other videos I find online that could be helpful to help you understand the materials better. Students always ask me, how do we study for tests? Well, the best thing to do for studying for tests is to do the practice. But if you don't have anything to physically practice, your next best thing is to go through some of the videos and make sure that you still fully understand them. You can also add notes to your digital notebook, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But worst case scenario, I always tell students, if you don't know how to do it, Google it. There's tons of online resources out there to help you. All right. What if you're absent or you have missing work? What does that mean? If you are absent for any reason, if it's a field trip, you're sick, you had a doctor's appointment for my period, whatever it is, if you are absent, you will need to meet with me to get the work that you missed. Most of the work will be on your Google Classroom. Most of the videos will be on Canvas. So make sure you check both those places. I also have printable worksheets that I will try and post on one of those 2 sites as well. Most of the stuff will go on Google Classroom, however. So you can complete any of those at home. Now, since I'm submitting what we will be doing that day before school starts or the night before, if you are absent, you still have access to those. So as you're at home, you can open up your Google Classroom and do the assignment if you know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you could always take the extra step, find a YouTube video that could help you, because my video won't be posted just yet, but you could Google something that we're learning to that day or Google the lesson and watch a video enough to help you figure out how to finish the assignment that's online. Again, if you can't do that or you don't have access to the internet at home, things like that, that's fine. I'll give you more time to get your assignment in. So let's talk about that. You all, if you also check your notebook links. Let's talk about that notebook real quick because I've now mentioned it twice and I want to make sure you understand. We will not have a composition book that you carry in your backpack every day. You will have a digital notebook. It'll go through your Google Classroom account. And every day we will be going over those notes. You'll be adding more notes to your Google slide. Everybody's notebook will look a little different. I will send out to you at the beginning of the year some structured notes of my own. So I'll start you off. I'll get you going on what this should look like. We'll talk about good things to put. And each lesson, I will send out to you notes that I want you to have in your digital notebook. Those are things that you cannot erase. Those must be there. But your job for your notebook is to go in and add additional items to that notebook that will help you personally on your quiz or to study for a test. Okay? So if you are home absent or you have a missing assignment and you forgot how to do the assignment, make sure you look at my notes or a friend's notes to understand how to do that lesson. All right, in the grade book, however, when you have a missing assignment or you're absent, it will count as a 0. So those assignments will hurt your grade until they are turned in. Now, you have about 1 week. If you are absent, so if you're absent on Tuesday, you have until the following Tuesday to get that assignment turned in. If it is missing, you may have a different due date. So make sure you come and see me so I can tell you what your deadline date is. The reason with missing versus absent is missing was you were here, you chose not to do it or you couldn't do it, and I need it to be done by a deadline date. And that deadline date could be because of a test or a quiz coming up. Absent, you get 1 week, and that's district policy. All right, so let's go back up here and talk about assessments, everybody's favorite thing to talk about. We have quizzes. Quizzes are redoable. At the end of each lesson or two, we will have a quiz. Students are allowed to use their digital notebooks, and on almost all of our quizzes, a calculator. At the beginning of the school year, I don't allow calculators because the math that we are doing for the lesson can be done fully on a calculator, and I want to make sure that you know how to do the arithmetic, that it's you mastering the skill, not the calculator. So while I'm gone with the sub, you will not be able to use your calculator. It'll be used when I come back. All quizzes are redoable unless told otherwise. In order to do a redo of a quiz, a correction form must be completed and a score at least of 90% on the corrections. Then you will come see me after school or show me some way that you understand those problems now. You're ready to take the quiz again, okay? However, no quizzes will be allowed to be completed at home, and this includes retakes. Because most of my quizzes will be online, even if you have access to it online or you can see it online, you are not allowed to do it online. And again, everything sent to me through Google Classroom is date and time stamped. So if I see you did it on a Saturday at 5 p.m., you just lost your chance at a redo. It is now deleted, and you will keep the grade that you currently have. Now, just a reminder, when you do this redo, you will keep the second grade. If it's higher, congratulations. If it's lower, yikes. You cannot redo it again. So make sure you study. All corrections can be done with me after school as well. You don't have to go home and try and figure it out on your own. You can come see me and I will help you on that. Then we will have module tests. Module tests are tests that are given at the end of a unit. These are not redoable. So this is a way I can test that you have mastered a set of standards. Our quizzes will show me if you've mastered 1 or 2 standards at a time. But by the time we get to a module test, we have learned several standards, and all those standards will be tested at the end. Students are able to bring 1 page of handwritten notes. Now this is optional. You can also bring a calculator, again, to almost all of your tests. The day of the module test, notebooks are due online for a classwork grade. So you will actually turn in your notebook through Google Classroom, and we'll go over how to do that. I will be grading your digital notebooks while you guys take your test. All right, so you cannot use your digital notebook on the test. If you need some notes, you can handwrite them yourself and bring them on a piece of paper. All right, let's talk about our restroom policy. My restroom policy is pretty easy. No restrooms will be granted during the first 10 or the last 10 minutes of class. I only have 45 minutes to give instruction and to get you guys up and going and get you prepared to do this on your own at home if needed. If you're gone to the bathroom while I'm giving instruction, when you come back, you will be lost. And excessive bathroom use, if I have some repeat offenders, I will be calling home and requesting a doctor's note. Your time to use the restroom is the same as my time, and that's during passing period. The next thing a lot of students like to do is they'd like to come to my classroom during passing period to tell me they're going to go use the restroom. You don't need to do that. Just go. Just make sure you're in my classroom by the time the bell rings or you're marked tardy. Okay? If you got stuck in PE, getting dressed out, and you're racing to get to my class already, that's fine, but you owe me 10 minutes at least of the class so I can take attendance and get you started on what the day is going to look like. Then you can use the restroom quickly and return back to class quickly. Your restroom will be timed. I have a sign-out sheet that you will be utilizing, and we allow 4 passes to the restroom per quarter. Once you get past that, a phone call does go home. That would be considered a repeat offender. So 4 per quarter. You can use the restroom during that time I allow. Absent and missing work, we already went over, so we're going to talk over here about cell phones. And I know this is where all of your teachers may be a little different on this policy. But because my class is fully digital, I like cell phones, especially if you're using them for educational use. However, all phones in my class must be on silent or vibrate mode. I do not appreciate ringtones in the middle of my teaching, so make sure those phones are off when you enter my classroom or turned down. You are not allowed to use your phone for texting or phone calls or taking pictures during class, unless the pictures are of your notes or your work that we did in class that day. Parents, please do not call your children on their cell phone while they are in school. 9 times out of 10, they don't have their phone on silent, and you just got your child in trouble. So please refrain from doing that. Call the school. They will notify your child if there's something that their kid needs to be aware of. Cell phones must be placed in backpacks during all assessments. This includes quizzes, which is why you cannot use your cell phone as a calculator. Because before we pass out a quiz or a test, I must see you put your backpack off to the side and have your cell phone in it. So, if you want to check your grades, check Canvas, watch a YouTube video that pertains to our lesson for the day, or you're working on an assignment on your phone, that's fine. As long as when I walk by, I see what you're working on and it is for educational use, you may keep your phones out. Because we do use our phones sometimes, or if you want to bring your own device and your device is your cell phone for class, I have a charging station in my room. All you need to do is bring a plug and a cable to plug your phone in. All right, last little bit here of my syllabus. I do have a no work, no grade policy. Even though the assignment is digital, there will be times where I will ask you to bring in the work that you did or take a picture of your work and upload that with the assignment so I can see your process of working things out. I know there's a lot of online math calculators out there. I'm not going to be naive to that. I know you can type in your question and it pops out the answer. This is why I must see work. I will let you know in the instructions what assignments I need to see work on. Okay? And again, you can just simply take a picture of it. If you're at home finishing up, upload the photo. Just make sure I can read the photo, because if I can't, that will count as no work. No work will be counted as a 0 in the grade book until you can show me the work. No names. A lot of our assignments, because they are digital, I'll know who you are because you'll be submitting it under your Google account name. But in the case that you have to turn in a paper or pencil assignment, I must have your name on there. I have close to 300 students. There's no way I'm going to sit and figure out who you are. So if you turn in an assignment without a name on it, it will go in the trash. You can always do the assignment again or resubmit it, but it will be counted as late because now technically it's past the deadline. All submissions must have a first name, last name, and period and date on the top right corner if it is a paper assignment. Extra credit, my favorite question of the day. Ms. Geifert, I have an F in the class. Can I have extra credit? Here's my rule on extra credit. A lot of times if you are failing or getting a D in my class, it's because you have missing assignments or you have chosen not to redo any of your assignments. So my comment to those students who come to me and ask me if they can have extra credit to bring up their grade is to do the redos or turn in the late work. There's your extra credit. I do not believe in giving extra assignments to students when they have failed to do the ones I've asked them to do. If you are an AB student and you're looking to move up as well, same thing applies. I do not give extra credit. In fact, the entire math department does not give extra credit. Your extra credit is in the form of redoing your work and learning from your mistakes. All right, we did talk a little bit about our digital notebook already, but this is where it's located in the syllabus. In our class, our notebook will be online using G Suite, your Google account. We will add to our notes weekly through Google Classroom. It is your responsibility to keep the notebook updated and with all the required components. Notebooks will be graded as a classwork assignment and are allowed on all quizzes, not module tests. Since the notebook is online, some of the notes will be given to you by me, and some will require you to complete your own notes with media and some examples. It will help for you to have internet access at home so you can work on your notebook at home as well, or see your notebook when you're at home working on the practice problems. So parents, internet is very key in this class. If you have internet at home, that will help. Let's talk about those redos one more time. Any assignment can be redone. So even if you got a 90%, you could raise it to the 100. So it doesn't have to always be a failing or a low assignment to be redone. Anything can be redone. I've had students redo a 98% just so they can get that 100 in the grade book instead. Whatever works for you. However, you can only redo it once. You get a full new grade. But again, that new grade is your current grade. If you are unsure on how to do a redo correctly, I highly recommend you come see me and I will show you how to redo it. If you're doing a redo on a quiz, you will need to use the correction form and I will walk you through that in another video tutorial. Math help. So you're stuck, you need help. Again, I am here every day after school till 2:45, sometimes longer. I will notify all parents and students if I am able to stay longer through Remind, and I will also notify you if for some reason I cannot be here after school, maybe due to a meeting or a doctor's appointment, something of that sort. But 98% of the time, as long as I'm physically on campus, you can come see me after school. One day a week, however, the math team will host a math help session where students bring their work, redos, absent work, etc. You can work with the teacher on that. So you don't always have to come to my class to get help. There is Miss Matson and Miss McPherson and Dr. Rosati, who all teach 7th grade math. They can help you on any of your assignments. They all also have technology in their classroom. They have computers. So if it's a digital assignment I have given you and you're redoing it or you're working on it and you get stuck, you can call them over to the computer or the iPad and they will be able to help you as well. Again, it is your responsibility to ask the teacher. Biggest problem with math help is students come in, they sign in, they sit down next to their friends, and they talk the whole time. But they went home and told their parents, I was at math help and I got no help. Well, that's because you didn't ask for any. So you need to make sure you come and ask for help. Our math help is not a one-on-one tutoring session. It is not a full class reteach of a lesson. It is a quiet place for you to study, get your work done, and ask for that help that you need in class. That is our syllabus. So make sure you understand all of what's on here because it will be this way for the year. If at any time I need to make a change to this syllabus, I will notify you and your parents if there is a change. All right, that's the end of this video. Thanks for listening.